Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve this 2x2x3 cuboid. So the first step is to solve the... Before we get into the tutorial, I'll show you a brief overview of how the method works. So first you'll get all the yellow and white corners on one side, and then you're going to permute the corners like that, and then you're going to solve the middle layer. It's not a hard puzzle. The turning the puzzle is really similar to a square one, as you can do an R2, and the slash on a square one is an R2. So if we do the double J from algorithm on a square one, we should get the exact same results on the 2x2x3. But in this case, there's no edges, so yeah, it does that. So let's get on with the tutorial. So in the first step, we're going to put all the yellow corners on one side and all the white corners on one side. So this can be done using steps, but it's really similar on a square one, where you put all the yellow, where you make a yellow bar, and you can make another yellow bar like that, and then you can put them up together, and you can do EO, and I can make a square one tutorial if you want me to. The simplest case is if you have a white bar, a yellow bar on one side, and a yellow bar and white bar on the other side. To solve this case, just put the two same color bars across from each other, like yellows on the left side and yellows on this side, so that when we turn it, the white is on one side and yellow is on the other. If you have a case where there's 3 on one side and obviously the other color, and 3 on the side and that one, then what you have to do is locate the middle of the 3, and which is this one, and then you can somehow get the one on the bottom to go into that spot, which in our case can be done with an easy like that. And then you have this case. Let's try that again. So if you want to get this white one up to here, we can move it across so that now when we turn, they become 2 bar cases, and you can just do that. If you have this case where there's like a checkerboard pattern on one side and on the other side there's 2 bars, what you can do is you can just do a slice, and then you have this case, so we can put this over here like that, and then we have the 2 bars case. If you have the 2 checkerboard pattern case, you just like this, yellow and white across from each other, and what you have to do is choose any color on here, and when you look down you can see it's going to replace this yellow one, which does absolutely nothing, so we're going to have to put the other yellow one next to it, so like that. When we turn it, the yellow one is right here, and now it'll create the 2 bars case, and then you can just solve it normally. On the second step, we're gonna permute all the corners, which is pretty simple, but if you know how to solve a square one, it's basically CP, where you do one of 8 or 10 algorithms to solve all the corners. So if you know CP on a square one, then this step should be pretty easy. So for this specific case, you can do this algorithm, and that solves all the corners. If you have 2 bars on one side, then you do this algorithm. Just note that when I say R2 like this, I don't do R and R. I call this R2, and I think it's F2, L2, and B2. If you have a case where there's no bar on top and no bar on the bottom, then what you can do is just do this algorithm. That solves all the corners. If you have a case where there's a bar on one side and no bar on the bottom, or on the other side, you're going to do this algorithm. There you go. If you have the same case but with the bar on the bottom, then you could do the same thing but mirror onto the top, or you can just rotate and then solve the case that I just showed you, and then if you want, rotate back. If you have a case where on one side there's soft, like a full layer, and on the other side there's a bar, you hold that bar on the back and you do this algorithm. And there's this case where there's a bar on one side and solid corners on the top. You can either hold it on the back and do this algorithm, Or again, you can hold it on the, or again, you can just rotate and then do the case that I just showed you. If you have a case where there's a diagonal on one side, what you can do is you can just do the case that I just showed you earlier to reduce yourself into this bar and corners case. Then you can just do this twice. And then again, if it's on the bottom, you can just rotate and do it, and then rotate back if you need to. On the last step, what we're going to do is we're going to solve this middle layer here. So what you're going to do here is you might have it fully solved, and you might have it like this where you have to swap two edges, and if you do, then you hold it on the right and do this algorithm. Simple enough. If you have a case where you have two solved sides and you have to swap these two, what you can do is you can just do the algorithm twice like this, or what you can do is do this algorithm. And that should solve it, and you might have to align that again. If you have this case where you have to cycle three edges around, what you can do is locate the one that is mostly unsolved, like this one has nothing touching, and this one touches orange, this one touches blue. So you hold that in the front right and do the algorithm, and you should get this case, and that should solve it. Or what you can do is a bit more advanced, but if the opposite one, like this one has absolutely nothing touching, like orange and blue, then if it's in the back, then you just do an M prime, a U2, and an M, and then U2. And if it's in the front, then you can just do U2, M prime, U2, M. If you have this case where you have four edges cycling around in a circle, then you just hold it from any angle and do R2 to R2 to R2. And then you should have this case, which you can solve using either of the two ways that I showed you before. So now let's go with an example solve. I'll go with a beginner's method, and I'll do it and then I'll do a time solve. So we have a checkerboard and bar. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this down, and now we have this case. So let's see, white has to go here, and now, there we go. And now for CP, we have two bars, so we can just do that, and then we can do solve CP. And now we have this case, so we're going to put this in the front right, do that, and then do this. It's time for a time solve. Okay, so we have this, so let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, this puzzle is not actually that difficult. You could probably get like a sub 5 average with this if you want to, but I don't want to get too advanced with this thing. So yeah, if you enjoyed this tutorial, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and you can join my Discord server in the description. And if you have a question, you can just leave a comment and I'll answer it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.